Hello, beautiful people. Welcome again to this amazing video. Now, is it possible to relocate to New Zealand on a tourist visa, get a job, and settle thereafter? That's what we're going to be talking about in this video today. If you're seeing me for the first time, my name is NJ, and thank you so much for watching the video. Now, to all my returning viewers, thank you so much for all your likes, your shares, your comments. These things mean the whole world to me, and thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. In this channel, I talk about how to relocate to several countries: the US, the UK, Canada, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, regardless of your status, whether you're married or not, whether you have dependents or not, your educational status, whether you're educated or not, your financial status. Okay, you don't need to have all the money in the world to be able to relocate abroad. I believe everyone deserves the opportunity to relocate to a country of their choice, seek for greener pastures, and get themselves the life they deserve. So if this is you want to hang in with me in this channel. Okay, now having said all of that, let's get into the business of today. Okay, so back to the big question of today. Can you relocate to New Zealand with a visitor's visa and get a job and settle thereafter? Now, I'll go with the easy answer. The answer is simply yes. Okay. So in New Zealand, you can come in with a visitor's visa, and I think you're allowed to stay for 6 to 9 months. And while in New Zealand, you're able to look for a job and then apply for a work permit. Okay. There are other countries that would allow this. I've talked about Canada. Yes, I know people are already grumbling and saying, oh, no, it's not so easy. But people are actually doing it, right? I know a lot of people who have used that medium, relocated to Canada, and they're now all settled in Canada. Okay. Now, basically, before you go in for this kind of venture, I think the important thing to do here is to do your research very well. Look at your qualifications, your skill sets. Are they things that are actually needed in the job market? If they are, then definitely I will go in for this venture if I was looking to go to a particular country and there was an opportunity to convert a visitor's visa into a work visa. Now, basically, what you do is you go into New Zealand with a visitor's visa. While you're in New Zealand, okay, if you're relevant to the job market, that means if your skill is one that is in high demand, to be very honest, 6 to 9 months is a very reasonable time to get yourself a job. Now, looking out for a job, you look out for a job in those organizations that are accredited. Okay, so those organizations that are licensed to employ foreign workers or to even sponsor you visa wise. Those are the kind of employers that you go for, obviously. Okay, I'm going to be leaving a list of the accredited employers in the description below. Okay, so basically what you do, or the smart way to approach this thing, is when you go on a search engine to look for a job, maybe Indeed, for example, and there's a job offer. Okay, there's a job advert. Okay, basically what I will do is to go back to the list of accredited employers and make sure that the employer who has advertised that job is an accredited employer before I even apply. Okay, that way you're saving yourself the time that you would have wasted applying to an employer who may not be able to keep you in the country, may not be able to sponsor you visa wise. Okay, so you only apply to those jobs that you are sure are advertised by accredited employers. Okay, and you're sure that if you get a chance in those jobs, the employers are able to keep you in the country. Okay, now another smart thing to do is to have a look at the New Zealand green list. So the green list will be like the shortage list. Okay, that is where you have list of jobs that are in shortage in New Zealand, and so these are where overseas workers have very great chance of getting jobs in New Zealand. Okay, that's where they have, or they are lacking workers in New Zealand. Okay, and it's actually, I think, the tier 1 and the tier 2, and you have certain privileges if you fall into a particular tier. I'll leave the link to all of this in the description below, and you can have a look for yourself. So talking about the tiers in the New Zealand green list, okay, they basically give you certain privileges. For example, so people who fall under the tier 1 category are able to go straight or directly to permanent residency if they get a job. So if your skill set fall under the New Zealand tier 1 on its green list, then if you get such jobs, you're able to go directly to a permanent residency. And there's also another one called the work to residency. Okay, so basically I think that's for the tier 2. But if you get those jobs, then you don't directly get a permanent residency, but then you can work, I think, for 1 year. And then after 1 year, you're able to apply for a permanent residency. But either way, the point of this video is to let you know that it is very, very possible to travel to New Zealand with a tourist visa, because sometimes Not everybody would get a job from their home country. Let's be honest, guys. This is cost wise for employers. It doesn't make real sense. Okay, so it's not really cost effective for employers to employ people, and it's not going to work like that for everybody, right? So you have to be very open, you have to be very flexible to a lot of options, especially in countries that this is legal. Okay, you have to maximize these opportunities and actualize your travel goals. And yes, you can actually travel with your family. Yes, you can apply for a tourist visa for yourself, your wife, your husband, and your children, and travel to New Zealand on a tourist visa. And then while you go there, you already have your maths done, you already have your research done, you already have, you know what you're going there to do. While you're in there, get a job, and then you can change your visas into a resident one. This is 100% possible. I know people who have done this and it's worked for them. Anything you see me saying here, it's because I know that people have gone through this route and it has worked for them. And if it's worked for them, there's no reason why you cannot try if you are eligible for it. I actually been on the New Zealand immigration portal, and I can see like her visas are really flexible. So they have a lot of flexible options. So say for example you travel on a tourist visa, and of course you're working on getting a job within 6 to 9 months. Now we know that sometimes this may not happen. Now there's a visa type called the supplementary seasonal work visa. This is something you can use. I think it's for about 6 months. So it's something that you can easily get. It may not be a profession or a kind of job that you really like, but it's something that you can take, for that 6 months to have a validity, to make sure that your immigration documents are in check while you're able. So it gives you more time then to be able to pick a job in your actual profession or that suits your actual skill set and that can keep you in the country visa wise. So it's a visa that they give you for about 6 months, and you do jobs like maybe fruit picking. It's just my suggestion. And the goal to all of this is to make sure that at every point in time your visas are valid. Okay, you don't want to go out of papers or out of visa at any point in time, and then that way you have more time to look for your actual job. This is only like an advice, okay? And obviously, all my advice would be from experience and research, okay? So I'm not an immigration lawyer, and you wouldn't take my advice or you wouldn't replace it with a professional one. However, I know that these are things that can help you, okay? And mind you, if you're venturing into any of these things, you need to do your own research. Make sure that it's the country for you, that it's the country. Don't just go into New Zealand because I have made a video and said you should go to New Zealand. You need to make sure that New Zealand is the country for you, that it suits what you are looking for in a country, and that, for example, your skill set suits the shortage in New Zealand. You know that it is really, really something that would work for you. You have to have that assurance, make your research yourself before you make this kind of venture. So there are about 35 companies that sponsor the supplementary seasonal work visa. Okay, so for example, if you have to need it, I'm going to be leaving the link below as well. It may be helpful to you. Say you find yourself in the situation where you're in New Zealand, for example, and on a tourist visa, and you have your 9 months rounding off, and you're yet to get a job that would keep you in the country visa wise, it may be an option for you. Okay, so I'll leave the link below. Okay, and overall, I would always suggest that you do your research. Okay, make sure that a country ticks the boxes for you before you venture into that journey. Okay, because what may tick the boxes for you may not be what ticks the boxes for me. So always do your own research. Take the information coming from the video. I may not say everything about a particular country in a 10-minute video or a 15-minute video. Okay, but if I bring in the key points, I need you to do your research and make sure it does tick the boxes for you. All right, so let me know if this video was helpful for you, if you found it helpful, and let me know what other videos you would want me to make, what other countries or what other opportunities you would want me to talk about in subsequent videos. And until then, I'll see you in my next video. Remember to stay safe and stay out of trouble.